Like some folks were having difficulty logging in again, so we will rebroadcast to make certain that everybody's able to get our broadcast. So we're going to rebroadcast everything from now on, and hopefully folks will be able to see what's going on the webinar. Again, once the webinar is over, it will be saved on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch the seminar again. Okay, RISE stands for Respect, Integrity, Service, and Excellence, and that's something that we promote all throughout the school and with our students. This is a picture of our first RISE award winners. Every 9 weeks, we have a RISE award ceremony, and students that exemplify these characteristics and show exceptional character are recognized. They're nominated by teachers or faculty members or those in the building for exhibiting these characteristics. So respect, integrity, service, and excellence. During our presentation, if you have questions, you can respond at polev.com/cohort, and we will be able to receive your questions. Or you can text cohort to 37607 to join, and then text your message. So once you get joined, you can text your message to us, and we will see it via the web browser. So here's some of the questions from when we did this last. The questions come up, and we'll be stopping and seeing them as they arrive. So we were able to poll a number of you through Google Docs, and we asked some questions about diploma requirements and other things. Each of you were able to respond, and we found out that 88% of you were not aware of the changes in diploma requirements in the last few years. Also, we found out that a number of you weren't quite sure on the differences in diplomas. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Also, we found that a number of folks were a little bit confused about the credits you can earn in high school, and we'll talk about that. And we were confused about which classes have SOL tests, and how to expunge middle school courses, or actually a high school course taken in middle school. So we'll also touch on that and that process and why or when you would expunge.
One of the questions you might have is, what is a credit? A credit is when your student completes 140 hours of instruction or completes that seat time in the classroom and they pass the class. That's actually a full credit. A verified credit is a full credit. So the student does the 140 hours of class time and they pass the class. And in addition, they pass the end of year assessment, which is the SOL or Standards of Learning test. So we often get questions about some of the types of courses that we offer. We offer research courses you'll see in our science areas, which is research, earth science, research biology, and research chemistry. Generally, in those instances, if the student really loves the subject, there is a research portion of that goes along with it. So in those classes, they were formerly listed as honors, but they've added a component, which is to complete a research project. A dual enrollment, we work with the College of Richard Bland, that is affiliated with William and Mary, and the students will receive a credit for completing the class here and a college credit from Richard Bland. An advanced placement course is where a student completes college level work in the classroom, and they can take a test, advanced placement test at the end of that course, and could also receive college credit through that. Honors courses also continue to are offered here, and those students would take a course, and in those courses, they would be with other honors students who would complete information to receive the honors at the end of that course. We offer two types of diplomas through the state of Virginia, the Advanced Studies Diploma and the Standard Diploma, which we're going to go over those requirements now. Our Advanced Studies Diploma requires 26 credit hours. And remember, the credit hour was 140 hours of instruction in passing the class. Our Standard Diploma requires 22 credit hours to pass. In addition to the credit hours, each diploma, your Advanced Studies and Standard, requires you to complete 4 English credits. Those English credits are taken in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. They can be honors or academic level at the 9th and 10th grade. And when you reach 11th, you have the option of taking either academic honors or advanced placement. In 12th grade, in addition to academic level advanced placement, you also have the opportunity to take a dual enrollment class. The Advanced Studies Diploma requires that a student have four of each: science credits, social studies, and math. Your Standard Diploma requires 3 science, 3 social studies, and 3 math. Advanced Studies Diploma has a language requirement. You can take either 3 consecutive years of a single language, such as French 1, 2, and 3, or you can take 2 years of 2 different. So you could take French 1 and 2, and then German 1 and 2. The Standard Diploma does not have a language requirement. Each diploma requires 2 years of health and PE. And students who are entering this 2016, 2017 class and those following will need to have training in emergency first aid, CPR, and the use of an auto defibrillator. That will be addressed through Health and PE 9, so students will have that instruction during that class. Each diploma, Advanced Studies and Standard, Virginia requires them to complete a board certified career and technical education credit to graduate. Each one will also do economics and personal finance. So each student will have those typically in the 11th grade year. Students entering for the first time in 2014 also need to successfully complete a virtual course. It can be non-credit bearing. So we offer this opportunity during our personal finance course. It is not necessary for you to take an online class. We frequently get that question, but we have built the virtual experience into multiple coursework, specifically into personal finance, so that they can meet that requirement. The Standard Diploma requires 4 electives, 2 of which must be sequential. And by that we mean it can be Art 1 and Art 2. So that way they're one following the other. It can also be for students who do, say, band one year and then band the next year. The Fine Art or Career and Technical Education is also for the Standard Diploma. So that what could meet that would be maybe an Art 1, or if they took Theater 1 or something, or even if they took Materials and Processes, one of our technical education classes, or something of that nature, the band, that would meet that requirement. We offer SOL tests in the following areas: those end-of-year assessments, standards of learning, earth science, biology, chemistry, Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, World History 1 and World History 2, US and Virginia History, and English 11. We offer the reading and writing assessment during that year. The Advanced Studies Diploma requires 9 end-of-year assessments, SOLs. The Standard Diploma requires 6 SOLs that you need to pass. And remember, we talked about a verified credit. That's what those are. So in those credit areas that we offer, you need to pass them.
All right, so if folks want to send us questions, you can go to poll everywhere, pollev.com/cohort, or text cohort to 37607. And once you join, then text your message to us. So we'll see if we've got anything going on. Also, you can email Miss Bryan at nicole.bryan@lcps.org. We'll check here in a second and see if we have any questions coming up. We have a question from our other presentation about what is DECA. DECA is a program that involves students in our marketing and business classes. So if you're in marketing, marketing co-op, intro to business marketing, or sports marketing, you can participate in DECA. And DECA competes locally, and for students that make it at the state level, they can go on to the national and international level. This year we have students that will be competing at the international and national level in Anaheim, California. So this is what a transcript looks like that we send to colleges. As you can see, this student came to us from a private school and has been at several different schools before coming to Rockridge. So a transcript shows the grades at the end of each year, the schools that the student attended, and at the bottom it is GPA is listed and class rank. Obviously this student, this was an example, so it shows the student is ranked 8th out of a class of 13. This year we have about 330 seniors. Here's how GPA is calculated. You take the grade points divided by the GPA units. So our example is this student's taken 4 classes. An A is a 4.0, a B is a 3.0, a C is a 2, and an F is no quality points. So you divide the total number of grade points by the number of classes or classes attempted in this course. We had a question just come in about American Sign Language, and American Sign Language is available for 3 years, and this year we're hoping to expand to 4 years. It is a course that's accepted for the Advanced Studies Diploma as a foreign or world language, and world languages for the advanced studies need to be 3 years of one language or 2 years of 2 different. So for this student to compute their GPA, they take the total number of GPA points divided by the number of attempts. So for this student, there were 9 GPA points or quality points, and divided by 4 classes, their GPA is at 2.25. So here we have 2 students that, this is an example of 2 students' transcripts that I've had in the past. One took 27 credits, the other one took 32. I asked students and the families that had come for our presentation, which student do you think had the higher GPA? A number of folks said 32. It was kind of more folks said 32 than 27. And turns out the student who took 27 credits actually had the higher GPA. Why would that occur? You need 26 credits to graduate. This student, with the advanced studies, this student had 1 more credit than he needed to graduate, or she needed. And the fewer classes you take, the more each class counts in your GPA. So students that come to me and say, I'm taking more classes so I can get a higher GPA, it's actually more difficult to raise your GPA taking more classes. Each class, as it's computed in your GPA, has less value. So, if we print more money, that devalues the money that we have. So taking classes for the purpose, or taking extra classes for the purpose of raising your GPA, isn't always a good idea. Both these students applied to the same classes, applied to the same colleges, and both students ended up going and getting into the exact same college. So they're attending the exact same college right now. So it's not a good plan to say, you know what, I'm going to take as many classes as I can and over the course of 4 years, and that'll raise my GPA. You need to take classes in the areas that you're good at and find balance. One of the things that a lot of parents are confused about coming to 9th grade is the notion of expunging a course. If you took a high school course in middle school, you can expunge that course, meaning it's erased from your transcript. So if you take a course, say Algebra 1, and you pass the course and you pass the SOL, that's a verified credit. But as soon as you expunge the course, that verified credit goes away because there's nothing to match with the passing test score. So you need to know that when you expunge some courses, you might also be getting rid of the verified credit. The verified credit won't come back until you retake the class and pass it. The other part is why or when should I expunge? You have to expunge before you enter high school. Why should you expunge? You should expunge if your student is really not understanding the content or you feel like they're not going to be able to go on to the next level. So if they took French 1 and they really struggled and you don't believe they know the content, then you expunge and have them repeat the course. You don't expunge a class you got an A in just because you want to get an A plus the next time. Um, that's not a good plan. And often we see when parents try and do that, the student's grade goes down because they have been exposed to the content and they already know it, and there's less motivation to do the work. So it's not always a good idea to say, I'm going to expunge a course just to raise my GPA. Over the last 8 years, the folks from the National Association of College Admissions Counselors have been surveying colleges to find out what's most important. And this is a trend. We'll also put up probably later the trend for last year, but this is the trend over the last 8 years or so. And it shows that what's important to college is strength of curriculum and how you do in those courses that you're challenging yourself in. So you can see strength of curriculum and grades in courses are two of the most important components to having a strong college application. If you look down, you see class rank is down there, and you pretty much don't see GPA anywhere on there. And that's because across the nation, there are different GPA scales or different bumps in GPAs. And what they look at is how did you do in the courses you took, and did you challenge yourself? Those are the most important things. An area that we see that's been kind of up and down in colleges as far as interest is something called demonstrated interest. They look at whether a student is reaching out to them and saying, this is really the college I want to go to. I love this college. This is where I plan on attending. They look at demonstrated interest as showing them that the student has applied and is really interested. With the onset of the Common Application, which is you can fill out information and apply to some 400 different colleges at one time, colleges are seeing an overwhelming number of students that don't even remember or don't even know they applied to a college. And that was one of the big discussions we had at NACAC this year, was making certain students are applying to colleges that are a good fit and appropriate for them. So this is a great quote from the director of admissions at Worcester Polytechnical Institute. They're kind of the Virginia Tech of New England. And the admissions director here is saying, strength of schedule is important, and balance. Find what works best for you. Realize what your strengths and interests are and take the courses in those areas, but make sure you find a balance. We see that students today are more stressed out than ever. This study from the University of California, Los Angeles, shows that students are spending less time with their friends than their parents did. Almost half the amount of time. And they're talking about 16 hours more a week. So students are feeling the pressures of having too much to do, having too many difficult courses, trying to take too many APs or honors courses. And we see that come out as a number of mental health issues and just being stressed in general. So we talk to students about being balanced. It's not possible to do everything that you hear or think your friends are doing. They're not always doing what they're saying. You shouldn't listen to folks. You should do what is right for you. Too often we hear students saying, my neighbor says I need to take 5 APs or I need to take all honors courses. It's about balance. It's not about ability. It's about having the time. We know students are very smart and we know that they can take challenging courses. But when you put all that together with everything else they do in their life, we have to find a balance. So it's not about ability, it's about there are only 24 hours in the day. And this is a sample that I had students make for me. I met with several students and they came up with kind of what their day looks like. Every other day, students have rock block, a time when they can work on their classes, they can meet with teachers. This is like resource. And this is a sample of a student who has practice right after school. They practice till 6:30 or 7, go home, eat, and study. And they try and finish studying by 10 or 11, but that doesn't always happen if they have a competition and they're traveling, whether it's band or they're traveling for a sport, and they may not get home till 10 or 11 o'clock. They have to figure out in their day when they're going to study, when they're going to use their rock block to do homework, to get ahead so that they can travel and know that they're not going to have as much time on a particular day. So again, it's not about ability. It's about there are only 24 hours in the day and we can only do so much. So find the classes you're good at, stick with those classes, and participate and be involved in school. This is what we're really talking about. Last week we were with the eighth graders. We talked about each of the classes and the department chairs came in to talk about electives and the courses that they'll be taking. So each student will have 5 classes that they're required to take. And then 2 electives. If you're taking a foreign language starting or continuing, then one of those electives will be a foreign language. And then you have room for another elective. So our English, math, science, social studies, world language department chairs all came in and talked about electives, how to pace yourself, and what's required in certain courses last year with the 8th graders. Ms. Bagdasarian put out the timeline for when students have to choose their electives and go into parent view, click on course requests, and you can work on choosing those classes. Hopefully all that gets done and you're happy by June 1st. June 1st is the last day in order to choose your classes and make any changes. A number of parents talked about in the survey wanting to see something about a different college. Cornell College is a college, it's in Iowa, where students take courses one at a time. That means students take courses that last 18 days, and that's the only class you're in. Where we see benefit in this is students that learn by doing. This is a wonderful opportunity for them to really learn and learn in depth what their subject area is or what their love is. And so I think the best example is last year and later this spring, Dr. Tepper from Cornell College spoke to our dual enrollment biology students. He had just returned from taking his entire biology class to Belize, to a research island, and they spent 18 days researching marine biology. Doesn't get much better than that, where you can completely involve yourself in your subject. For student athletes, this is great because all classes end by 3 o'clock and students are able to move on and work on their after class activities or be involved in a sport or theater. And they also see great success with students being able to double major. And one of the most interesting things that I learned when I met with the folks at Cornell College is that they pretty much have twice the admission rate or double the national average for students being accepted to medical school and law school. So it's a great opportunity. It's a great place. It's a different way of learning. Another question a lot of folks had was about cost of college. And so we want to talk about a few, this is just a few of the free colleges that exist in the United States. Alice Lloyd College is a small college in Kentucky. For residents of Kentucky, Ohio, Virginia, and West Virginia, you can qualify for the free tuition program at Alice Lloyd College. This is a great opportunity for students. Berea College is a very well-known college in Kentucky. Um, you exchange volunteer hours or working at the university uh, for tuition. So students don't pay tuition. They either work or volunteer in the community. Berea College is known for one of their professors created the touchscreen, what we use on phones and computers today. The Curtis Institute of Music in Philadelphia is a great opportunity for students. They offer full scholarships for students that are accepted to their college. And the Webb Institute is a great engineering school for those that are interested in naval architecture and marine engineering. Pretty much the only two courses they teach there, but students are given full scholarships. So there are a number of opportunities for students all over to look for these type of free or scholarship opportunities for college. And based on the survey results, we wanted to provide some different colleges for parents to be aware of and look at. So one of the things that we're doing to help offset the cost of college here at Rockridge is to work with the Richard Bland College of William and Mary. They're a two-year college of William and Mary, and we offer dual enrollment courses for our students. And here are some examples of our students that recently graduated.
Hi, my name is Ivana Spurlock. I'm Rockridge class of 2016, and I was able to start Hampton University as a first semester sophomore because of all the college credit classes I took at Rockridge.
Hi, my name is Noah, and I started college as a second semester sophomore, which means next semester I'll be a junior. All thanks to the college credit courses that I took in high school.
To be humble, to be kind, it is a giving of peace in your mind. To a stranger, to a friend, to give in such a way that has no end. We are loved, we are one, we are how we treat each other when the day is done.
So here is Mr. Duhlman presenting at the National Association of College Admissions Counselors Conference in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio, back in September on our dual enrollment program. He's presenting with Dr. Dumaine Williams, who is the director of the Bard Early College High School in Cleveland. Bard is a college in New York that has a number of early college high school programs where students are able to graduate from high school with a two-year associate's degree. We've learned a great amount from Bard. They're the nation's leader in dual enrollment in early college high schools. And so we have had the great opportunity to meet with them and learn quite a bit about their programs to make sure our program is something that is great for our students and giving them great opportunities. So Richard Bland, Rockridge, and Bard all presented at this conference, and we talked about the uniqueness of our program and the opportunities for our students. We have a number of guest lecturers. This is this is Rebecca Cox. She is an actor, director, and producer. She Skyped in from London for our dual enrollment theater class. It was a wonderful experience for our students. In Mr. Lake's class, Jay Matthews from the Washington Post met with our students via Skype and spoke about the challenges of writing about education, the challenges of education is facing the United States. And they had some great questions for him, like what would he be if he wasn't a reporter? And he said a teacher. So they're able to learn quite a bit from our guest speakers. On the far right, you see Dr. William Decker. He is one of the folks at the Center for Innovation and Commercialization at University of California at San Diego. He is a physicist. He talked to the students about how do you take technology that no one's ever seen before and bring it to industry, using his experience in physics. So our dual enrollment physics students were able to hear a wonderful lecture from him on innovation in technology. He's speaking again in February to our students. Dr. William LeBeau did a in-person lecture. He is from St. Louis University, and he spoke on aerodynamics and discussed the projects that they do at SLU. They're working on a project kind of centering around inflatable aircraft. And the goal is to be able to have these lightweight aircrafts on rockets that are going to Mars. And once they get there, they inflate and they're able to map and fly around Mars and give us information about the planet. And here's Dr. Holt from Richard Bland College. He gave a lecture on AP Biology. He was here last week and gave a lecture on genetics that our students really became involved in. That was a wonderful experience. So our goal is to give students a college level experience, not only every day in the classroom, but through the guest lectures that we have coming up. This month, we hope to have another masterclass in our dual enrollment theater. Last year, the director of voice and performance, Miss Chrisman from Catholic University came and gave a masterclass, and she'll be returning this year to do the same. So one of the ways that you can keep up with Rock Ridge is to follow our Twitter. We have a number of things that go on every day, and Twitter and Instagram is the best way to keep up with what's going on at Rock Ridge. Our students are great and they're involved. One of the best ways to transition from middle to high school is to get involved. We have our peer students there working with the elementary students. Peer helps lead our anti-bullying campaigns here at school, and they do a number of great things in the elementary schools, working with character development. We see one of our DECA students who helped create the Hope campaign here at school, and they raised money and awareness for breast cancer prevention. Here's the band competing. If you haven't seen our band, they've won a number of awards. They've been doing some great and innovative things. And here are some of our debate students with their awards from earlier this year. Here's our cross-country team at the conference championships. Our cross-country course was built by our parents, our cross-country coach, our athletic directors. They all came together to make one of the only courses that is at a school in our region. Quite an accomplishment for our students in our community. And there's Nicole. She is an awesome swimmer. Our swim team, men's and women's, works very hard. And she garnered a scholarship to Ohio State, where she'll be swimming next year. So again, our students do a great job balancing, but we need them and parents to be aware, do what you're good at and stay involved in school and keep balance. Our teachers here at Rock Ridge do a great job in helping our students grow. And here's a great example from Mr. Hankey.
The very first day of school, I come in and I tell them about what it means to follow the sequence. Your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits. Your habits become your character. Your character becomes your legacy. Think about that. Make sure your legacy is something that you can pass on. Thank you very much.
couple times a week, Mr. Henke is down at our neighboring elementary school, working with the third and fourth graders. And a couple times each 9 weeks, he takes his students down, or the elementary students come up in the classroom. So they are teaching physics to some of the third and fourth graders, and the third and fourth graders are teaching us about science also. It's a wonderful relationship. We've come a long way since the school was started 4 years ago, since we broke ground. And a lot of that has to do with the support we get from the community. We're a great school because we have great parents and great students, and our teachers work very, very hard. So we want to continue that as your students come to Rock Ridge and bring their talents. If you have any questions, again, you can email Miss Bryant, nicole.bryant@lcps.org. We'll see if we have any other questions that have come in, and we'll look on poll everywhere to see if we have any other questions that are coming in. Give us just a second. Looks like we haven't had any other new questions come in. Again, we'll post this on our website and it'll be archived on YouTube. We wanted to make parents and students aware that we're partnering with Briarwoods, Freedom, John Champ to bring a number of different colleges to our community. We're going to have a college night panel discussion March 7th at 7 p.m. at John Champ. The colleges that will be coming are UVA, Virginia Tech, JMU, Cornell College, Virginia State University, and Harvard. They're going to be talking about what's important in applying and balance in applying to college. What's the right fit? What are some unique colleges and colleges programs for our students and their families? So please join us on the 7th at John Champ at 7 p.m. And again, it'll be for our 4 high schools. So we're hoping to have a number of folks there. And we're hoping that this will be something we'll do in the future where we can combine and have our entire community here benefit from all of our schools working together to help our community gain answers to college information. So please let your friends and neighbors know it's open to all students at Rock Ridge and our upcoming 9th graders. If we have other students there, you know, other middle school students, that's fine. This is really about gaining information. So we thank you all for tuning in today. We'll be signing out and we will post this on our website. Thank you all very much.